here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, 49ers faithful? It is so great to be with you guys today. And sorry, we were a little late hitting the go record, but Wayne and I, we're over here breaking down prospects, and we lose track of time. Like, we do this because we love this. And Tuesdays are a show for me. Hopefully you guys get some out of it. This is for me. I'm wearing my Wayne Breezy t-shirt, baby. How you doing, Wayne?
We don't make this stuff up, man. I was like, yo, let me rock the Rush joint. I need a Rush jersey. That's what I feel like I need. Let me rock the Rush joint. You know what I mean? Because I'm on the Rush. You know what a rush. That, you know what? You need to get a shirt that says "What a Rush." There we go. And then put the 49ers stuff on your thing on the back. You know, just a little marketing thing.
I'm not good at any of those things. Every single idea I've ever had is somebody said, "Hey, you should do this," and then we just do that.
That's what we're here
for. I'm not. That's just not.
Somebody needs to create a "What a Rush" 49ers. What a 49ers rush. That's it. A shirt. Maybe have Hawk screaming it out or something like that. Like
there we go. Today's going to be fun. This is I get all these questions, DMs, and thoughts in my head and whatever else. And it's just like, oh, what would the 49ers do with this? What would you do if this? What do you think Kyle will do with this? So I've got about 10 different scenarios already in the notes, and the chat obviously really appreciate everybody with the hashtag BBs, the hashtag CCs. What's up, Peachy? What's up, everybody? Appreciate you guys. If y'all have other questions that you want us to get into, always throw those in the chat. You guys direct half of this show because we want to make sure we're here for the fans. That's what Wayne and I do. We have been together for a while. This is episode 1373 of the 49ers Rush Show, which is stupid. But man, we've been recording together, I think, for 5 years?
Is it three or 4 years?
3 or 4?
Where we did the John and Wayne and made it into a show. So I think we're going into year 4 right now.
I love it. I freaking love it. It makes me very, very happy. So you guys throw your topics that you want in the chat. We will get to those. And so, I asked this question yesterday with Brian Peacock, who I had on the show, and I love this. Who is your surprise pick at number 11 that nobody's talking about? There's lots of mock drafts coming out, and we'll talk about those a little bit later in today's show. But who is one of the prospects at number 11 that's just not getting a lot of, love or attention, and you get into that kind of curveball that Shanahan likes to throw at times? I said Donovan Jackson. Peacock said Ted McMillan. Is there somebody that you would say, I think this is a possibility?
I got y'all beat.
Okay.
Who did Peacock say? Ted? He went Ted.
McMillan.
I like that. I like going to wide receiver. Listen, I'm not afraid to go wide receiver. I'm not afraid to go wide receiver, especially when you're getting a guy like Ted. I got you guys beat. It's Josh Simmons. It's easily Josh Simmons.
Really?
Listen, we don't know what these medicals are, but I'm happy. I would be happy if they drafted a guy like Josh Simmons, knowing that his upside and his ceiling is literally comparable to what Trent Williams do. You want the athleticism. You want the guy that can move, that's quick. Even with 1 year at playing at the school that he played at, like transferring into Ohio State, this kid was about to be literally the best offensive lineman until he got hurt in that Oregon game. Hands down, he was really showing that he was about to take the offensive line by storm, and he would have been higher than your boy Kelvin Banks, in my opinion. So
I agree.
I'm going with him because if those medicals come back clear, it's a winner chicken dinner. If the medicals don't come back clear, then the Niners can redshirt him. He can learn under Trent. It'll be another Aaron Banks type of situation. And his ceiling is way higher than Aaron Banks. It's like you're getting literally a first-round guy. And it's all about the medicals for me. So if his medicals are good, or even if they're not good, the Niners can literally sit him, redshirt him, let him learn under this. If Trent Williams is the ceiling, that's the perfect teacher mentor for him to learn under and really allow his knee situation to get better. I know it's a crazy injury. I know it's one of those injuries that's hard to recover from. I understand all that, but it'll be Josh Simmons. Nobody's talking about Josh Simmons.
Okay, so let's play both sides of this. 49ers got a lot of PTSD from our previous GM and how Trent Baalke would always pick these guys.
It's a new regime.
It's a new regime?
It's a new regime, man. Like, we can't have PTSD of players that we drafted back then under Trent Baalke. It's a new. Listen, we draft players healthy, they get hurt. So at the end of the day, we might as well just go with the hurt guy and let him get healthy. I guess that's just my theory on it.
And I will say this: if Josh Simmons was healthy, his tape is top 5 guaranteed. I think Armand Mimbu is kind of the consensus.
Consensus, yeah, for sure.
Now, checked every single box, and all the other guys kind of fell out. Mimbu wasn't anybody's really number one. He always had the athleticism and the feet, but then you had Simmons with the ACL. You had Banks, not as great an athlete as everybody thought. You had Will Campbell, T-Rex arms. And so, like, he's moved up by default, almost like a musical chairs. And
oh, yeah, it's fun, right?
He's still there.
Yeah.
And so, but if you put Josh Simmons as healthy, and here we go. Let's try to spin this the other way. Nuance takes.
Let's do it.
Why would the 49ers do this? We don't think we're going to be picking this high again. We have Trent and Colton back. We believe
the offensive line is intact. The only person that needs the only position, in my opinion, that needs a heavy dose of upgrading is the center position. Well, none of the players that we're talking about play center. None of them. So you can afford to redshirt a tackle in year one. You literally can when you're getting your offensive line back. That's just my opinion on it, though.
I love these. First rule of Draft Club is never draft injured players before day 3. And the 49ers haven't done that. Doesn't mean they won't. And if they checked him out and he's healthy.
It all comes down to their medicals. I know what's being told to us. We don't know anything. So at the end of the day, it comes down to the 49ers doctors clearing him. And if they do, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the pick.
Shout out to my man Rob Louder. He said, "My guy said we draft healthy."
I did say that. I did say that. Wait, what, am I wrong?
No, Ricky Pearsall never missed a college game ever, and had 4 injuries and a shot before week 1. Now he came back and played, but like, yeah, that is.
Listen, it's just part of my humor, man. It's just the way it is, man. Look. It's football, man. Everybody's going to get injured at some point. That's how I look at it.
100% injury rate this sport. 100. 100.
He said, listen, I know people don't – I don't think people are grasping the concept of why you might want – why I would go Josh Simmons at 11. But I understand. He's healthy. He's not healthy. He's unhealthy. Tell you what, his agent says he will be good to go week 1. I'm gonna go off of that.
Agents, that's what they do. That's agents do
for sure.
What agents do, and that's okay. I'll tell you this: if you got him, you're getting a damn good player. And yeah, I would criticize the pick, but there's definitely a lot of logic behind it. There's no doubt about that. So, all right, let's get on to our second. This comes from Nick E over on Twitter. He says, look, the 49ers get to draft 2 defensive players from the same school, but you have to alter it. Otherwise, your Michigan boys would crush it. If it was
okay, that sucks.
If it was Mason Graham and just, Kenneth Grant, conversations over.
Give me Mason Graham and freaking
Josiah Stewart.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through.
Give me Mason Graham and Will Johnson.
No. I want to do all defensive front 7. I think they're all defensive front 7.
I thought you said defensive players at first, but okay, my bad.
I'm going to give you 6 teammate pairs. I want you to rank the top 2. If you want to do top 3, cool. So I'll go through them a couple times, but I thought this was fun.
Okay.
Mason Graham and Josiah Stewart.
Okay.
It's pretty freaking hard to beat that. Shamar Stewart and Nick Scorton.
Uh-uh.
Derek Harmon, Jeffrey Bossa. You got a linebacker in the mix there. I'm higher on Derek Harmon than everybody else, I feel like. TJ Sanders, Demetrius Knight.
I like that. So you should have kept it the same, though.
This is his question, and I altered a little bit because I wanted it to be.
It's hard because you got linebackers going against edge guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's okay.
That's fine.
And I think that through this, we figure out, man, maybe linebackers aren't as big of a deal as a lot of Niners Twitter and a lot of Niners fans do. Because
I see where you're going with this. Keep going.
All right, South Carolina, TJ Sanders, Demetrius Knight. We've got James Pierce, Omar Norman Lott.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Nolan, Jared Ivey.
Dang, you didn't even give me Princely?
Nah, I like Ivey more. I think I like Princely more. But man, I like Ivey.
Princely's more like the Leonard Floyd guy. Yes. All right, I tell you what. For me, my top 3, and then I'll put them in order. But I'm gonna give you my top 3. So Michigan.
Yeah, Mason Graham's the best player on this list.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah, Walter Nolan and Jared Ivey. I think that's a perfect first and second round pairing.
And I'm teetering between South Carolina and Oregon. This is tough.
A&M wasn't even on there. Shamar Stewart and
I'm not taking them. They're not bums, but man, their production together is less than one of the guys we mentioned on one. Nah, I'm good. Could be in the system. I don't know, but I'm not going with the A&M dudes. Yeah, I'm stuck between Oregon. I like that I'm stuck between Oregon and freaking South Carolina. I do, because now I kind of like Harmon better than Sanders, but I like Knight better than Bossa. Fudge.
I agree with that. But see, I have Harmon. He's my DT too. I'm higher on him than probably almost anybody else out there. I like TJ Sanders. He's more consistent than Harmon is. Way more consistent. But I don't think that he has the havoc rate is not as elite. But I'm with you on Knight. I like Knight more than Bossa.
I'm gonna go with
You want Demetrius Knight.
I want Demetrius. I'm gonna go with South Carolina.
Okay, there we go.
But I'm gonna go with Oregon's clearly number 4, and then I think I go Tennessee 5, and then Texas A&M 6. You gave me 6 teams, right?
Yeah, you did all 6. So okay, who's your number 1?
Okay, so that's just where it gets hard, right?
Because Mason Graham, it's
got to be Michigan. Yeah, people could talk trash about Josiah Stewart all y'all want, but
who's talking trash on him?
I'm just saying in general, he's not getting. He's one of those people that's not getting like the fanfare. His production and pressure rate is ridiculous through the roof, and you could go off of his size, but the dude got like 90-inch wingspan, bro. So like at the end of the day, the one thing he knows how to do is get around the edge and get to the quarterback. Like he has the gifts. He has speed and the gifts. And I watched him at the Senior Bowl. Like he was one of the top 5 edge rushers at the Senior Bowl. So like it's definitely Michigan number 1. Number 2 though, it's got to be Ole Miss. I think I gave it to you in order: Michigan, Ole Miss, South Carolina.
There we go. Man, those are some good pairings. And here's what's crazy is like there's a strong possibility that the 49ers could hit on this. They always draft teammates. Last year, they got 2 Florida State guys. They love going after, well, we recruited so-and-so of Arizona, and so we got, they always say that, and we saw him on tape when we were scouting so-and-so. So they trust certain coaches. They trust certain things with that regard. And right here, Jacob, he says, I haven't heard much about Josiah Stewart. Now, he's a weird height weight. So if you can get past that, you get to the tape.
Yeah.
You get to the length. You get to the pressure rate, the analytics. He's 6'1", 249. Like, he's a shorter
especially
guy.
For edge, right? Like, but, I mean, Floyd, he's short, but the weight works at 249. I know people think that's light, but Floyd was 240.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? But he was 6'6", too. So, like, that's you know what I'm saying? So, like, I get it. But the production is there. And like John said, you just got to get to the tape or get to us. And we're watching the tape. Now, I try my best to talk about him at the Senior Bowl because he was flashing, and consistently, right? And so, my 2 underrated guys to me at the Senior Bowl for edge rushers was Josiah Stewart and David Walker. I think I talked about those guys every single day that I was down there. And I didn't do that just because I was a Michigan fan. These were guys that were killing in their one-on-ones and setting the edge on 11-on-11s and just being around the quarterback. And so there's tons of other players like Landon Jackson. There's a bunch of players. But Josiah Stewart production is ridiculous. And you can say it's because he had Mason Graham and he had Kenneth Grant up front, whatever. But when those guys didn't show up, he made sure he made his business to show up. I put it out there. And that Big Ten is good football, man. It's good football to watch. I mean, SEC is probably the best conference, but no disrespect. But Big Ten is good.
There we go. Look at this. We got a super chat from Rodash Lee Music. I do not know this player. Kendall Paul, defensive back from East Texas A&M. Wow. Is worth a look at DB. So I appreciate the super chat, and I'm going to add him to my list to do a little bit of research. And so my next show, I will add that to the show notes, and we will I'll talk some Kendall Paul, DB, East Texas A&M.
I like when people send us the smaller school guys to look at.
Yeah.
I got a couple of in my inbox, and I was just like, oh, can't wait to check them out. Like, I really like looking at prospects and seeing what they can, what type of twitch they have, what they can add. Some guys may go undrafted. I'm hoping that when we put things out, we help put that on the radar of the San Francisco 49ers. I'm hoping that's what we do. Like, that'd be our service. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And we're going to wrap today's show up with 2 late round gems that were brought up from a big time listener. So he's added to the list. I'm going to put him on next show's notes. So we're not dodging your question. I don't know the answer. And whenever you hear people that tell you I don't know, that's a good thing. Use I don't know more in life. Only speak on what you know and just be honest with what you got. Now, I put this poll out yesterday, Wayne, and I wanted to get your opinion. I came up with 3 separate trade scenarios for defensive tackle. Biggest need on the 49ers by far. This is the best defensive tackle draft class. Here we go. Here are the 3 scenarios. A, trade up for for Mason Graham if he falls, but you lose a 3rd round pick. And in Albert Breer's, we're going to talk about this next. Albert Breer's mock draft, he has him falling to 7. So A, trade up for Mason Graham, but you lose a 3rd rounder. B, stay at 11, take Walter Nolan. Or C, trade back, get Derek Harmon, and pick up an extra 3rd rounder. A, B, or C. Which one of these do you like and why?
I like all the scenarios. I don't know. Like for me personally, it's trade up and get Mason Graham. But I understand why the faithful would trade back, take Derek Harmon, and get extra picks. I think that would be the most logical thing. But if the Niners want their guy, they have 0. We've seen the Niners want players and go up and get them. So there's a possibility that they go up and get Mason Graham. I know a lot of people look at Mason Graham. Look, Mason Graham has, first of all the Michigan players got weird measurements. Let's just keep it a buck. Mason Graham is slightly under 300 pounds. He's probably 6'3.5" or something like that. Not super tall. Doesn't flash with speed. Doesn't look strong. But the techniques, the power, the moves, the power, the grit, the get off, all the other stuff you want from Mason Graham is there. His ability to command double teams. There's going to be times where he's going to get beat. There's going to be times where they hit him with a center guard combo where he's going to get knocked off. All I'm saying is he's the best defensive tackle to me overall in this draft. And so you want the best players. So
here's what I'm doing right now. I'm typing because I'm trying to flesh this trade out with what players you would get in all of this situation. Okay. So yeah, here we go.
Losing a 3rd sucks, but you still got another 3rd. If I'm losing that comp 3rd, I'm cool. But you said you got to lose 75.
75. So. That's what I think it would cost to trade. So here we go. I just picked 2 random players that are that 75th range. If it's too early for them, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's just flesh this out. Okay, so in A, you trade up and get Mason Graham, but that's all you're going to get out of your 1st and 75th pick. That's it. It's Mason Graham. Now, if you do B, you're getting Walter Nolan. But then let's say at pick 75, right now, Josiah Stewart is pick number 82 on mock draft database. So the question is Mason Graham or Walter Nolan and Josiah Stewart? Which one of those 2 do you like?
Yeah, like I said, C makes the most sense, right?
Because C is Derek Harmon, plus you get 75, Josiah Stewart, plus another 3rd, Omar Norman Lott. Mm-hmm. So you're talking Mason Graham versus
you're getting more. In this draft for me, I've been screaming. If you watch any of my mock drafts, it's all about getting top 100 players, and I want several of them. I don't want 4. I want 5. I want 6. I want as many top 100 players we can get on this roster. So C is definitely the majority of the answer. I just think Mason Graham is the best player at that position in the draft. So I was giving you that take, but C makes the most logical sense.
And again, you got to have somebody that wants to do that.
And then you got to have somebody that wants to do it for sure.
Who wants to do that? Look at this. Speaking of wants to, Nick, the man, appreciate Super Chat. Bros, bold prediction. 49ers special team will be in the top 30.
Yeah, that's a good
better
one.
be.
They better be in the top 1.
They're
I tell you
signing
that.
only special teams players. That's
For
it.
sure.
We got 7 special team safeties.
Yeah, man. Listen, hey, well, we got guys that can tackle. I put it like that.
Ah, that is good. We got speed.
got speed and tackling.
The speed and tackling.
Two areas that needed to be fixed. So
could you imagine being in the meeting when they interviewed Brant Boyer and they're like, "How would you fix this special teams unit that has been so bad for a decade?"
They this is what they did. Let me show you what happened. They didn't ask him how he was going to fix it. They said, "Brant, look at this and tell me what you see." And in the words of I don't know his damn name, he was like, "Trash." That's what he said. Like straight up trash. And then now we fixing special teams. That's what we're doing. We're making some adjustments.
Yeah. And the first, like one of the first guys was like, dude, DFF can't be a part of this anymore. Let's just be very honest.
They showed that they were moving on right away, released him. Like wow. Like, yeah. Long time tenure 49er, kept bringing him back. Not anymore. He's with the Giants now.
Yeah. And happy for him. I'm glad that he's still playing. I love DFF as a person, teammate, culture setter. I just can't stand watching him play on special teams or defense. It's just not good. Right here, Tattoo Jesus giving Wayne his props. I like that. As many top 100 players as we can. Best idea I've heard yet about this draft.
Here's the funny thing though, Tattoo Jesus, or is it Tattooed Jesus? I don't know. Just saying. Here's the funny thing though. I've been on that train before free agency. So that's been my MO before we depleted the defensive line right before. So I just need the Niners to get the best players available, especially at the positions now, because we clearly have plenty of holes to fill.
Yeah. And you look at our picks, 11, 43, 75, 100, but then you got a 113 too. So if somebody falls or you want to trade up or, whatever, there's definitely, you said you wanted 5 top 100 players. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's your goal.
We have 4 right now. My goal is 5.
Dude, I wonder how many
Why do you think I want to trade back? That's why I said, listen, man, if they listen, first of all, Derek Harmon, I think I said I had him as a top 25 player. I mean, where is he on my list?
I have Derek Harmon 19.
I think I definitely have him in my top 25. And I like him because he's the best of both worlds, right? So big guy up front, good against the run, and can still rush the passer. Like he still gives you that good speed, good 40 time, great 40 time for a guy his size. And so like that makes a lot of sense. Plus we just like those Oregon trees, right? Like we like the trees from Oregon. Thanks, Jax. Bubba. But before Bubba was born, I was saying trash, and I want people to know that I used to get reprimanded and say on my show saying, "Well, you can't call players trash," and I because I didn't realize that the players would probably be watching. But Bubba don't give a shit. Bubba don't care. Trash. Straight up.
Oh, I love it. John, appreciate the super chat, my friend. He says, John and Wayne, the bright spots of the offseason. This offseason exodus. Yeah, it's been rough.
Love that word, exodus.
The bright spots for me, I appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words and your generosity. It's the coaching. I go back to this. Going from Sorensen and Schneider to Robert Saleh.
Oh, that's the best about the freaking thing.
Boyer.
Yo, we could cry about free agency. I'm living on the edge of the coaching. We done got better coordinating from special teams. You got Saleh back. You even said, I see you, Saleh. I'm going to raise me with a Gus Bradley. So give me the senior defensive coordinator over the defensive. You want to know how Saleh became Saleh? Well, check out Gus Bradley. So we are literally, Kyle Shanahan probably won't spend any time in the defensive room this year. I'm expecting the offense, which is still mainly intact, to be explosive again. Minus Debo. Okay, I'm cool with it. Do we need to replace Debo? Not necessarily, but we do need to figure out where we're going to place some of that type of production that he brings to the team. And I think they have players that can do it. Can't wait to see end rounds with Jacob Cowan. Can't wait to see Ricky Pearsall cover the middle of the football field, take the top off the D. Can't wait to see George Kittle be utilized like Travis Kelce. I feel like we're going to get more of that. Hence why we went and spent $80 billion on a tight end too at free agency. So I'm excited.
I actually like Luke Farrell more than most people do. Like, I see everybody getting upset, but I think they're upset because he doesn't have a receiving touchdown. And I'm like, but that's not his job.
It's not his job.
If you watched tape last year, you saw Eric Saubert out there just wrecking shop for the 49ers in a negative way as special teams, the run game and the pass game. You don't have that anymore. And so I don't think – and everybody's talking about how much you paid for it. Do you know we're paying less than the NFL average at the tight end 2 spot still? Like, you're still $2 million less.
There you go.
So I don't know. I get everybody needs to focus on something to be upset about, but I'm not an anti. Well, and shout out to 49ers media. He just said John Lynch is at Oregon today.
Yes, he's at Oregon today for their pro day. And there's several players from Oregon. There's a player from Oregon that we're not even talking about. His name is Jordan James. He's the running back there. He's not been shown any love either. This could get interesting. So several players. I mean, Tez Johnson, their small wide receiver that looks like he could be a dynamic return guy. I think I was giving him Ted Ginn Jr. comps. Just his ability to make people move. I know he didn't run fast, but he does have the recorded fastest 3-cone drill out there for all positions. So I just wanted to put that out there.
That's a Shanahan staple. The 3-cone wide receiver tight end. You run a 3-cone, Kyle Shanahan, he likes you.
I'm just saying. So it's just little things. So just don't be surprised, man, if he ends up falling to round 5, 6, and he ends up as a 49er. Like, it's going to be very interesting. You know what I'm saying?
One of the things that's hilarious to me, and maybe you got to give credit to John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan. We don't know what the hell they're going to do.
There you go.
They have so many holes that it's just like shoulder shrug, like meh. they
did this on purpose.
Yeah,
I understand what they're doing. And last year they approached the draft. They didn't have holes to fill. They drafted for the future. This year they still have that mindset, that approach. But their job is, I want my coordinators to get the players that they want. I think that's the MO this year. Saleh, who you want? Boyer, I took care of you in free agency. Sit your ass down, man. And so, like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, there's several players. Like, there's running backs, there's wide receivers, there's return guys, there's guys you can get that even Brant Boyer. Like, let's talk about how we address the draft with all these. I mean, address free agency with all these special teams players. What if the wide receiver that we need to look at is Ricky White, who has the block punts and is a great ass special teams player, but a damn good still wide receiver. So, like, I'm just saying, this from UNLV, there's ways that we still can address special teams even in the draft, depending on the players they pick.
Yeah, you need a complete overhaul. I think the only quality special teams player you're returning is Robert Bill, who I was very impressed with. He was
That's funny because he was one of our worst special teams players going into the season.
He was,
and then he grew.
He was awesome.
Man. I needed to hear that.
And not a great pass rusher, but he's good against the run. But special teams, for me, it went Isaac Yadam. Then it went the Georgia wide receiver that we had, the old buck. What's his name? Chris Conley. Then it was Robert Bill. Those were my top 3 special teams. Didn't even know he went to
Georgia. Wow. Yeah, we had a couple of Georgia players on our roster last year, huh?
We did. Now, real quick, after this, here's what's next. Wayne wants as many top 100 players. Well, I got a trade scenario I want to run through with him to get another top 100 player right after this. I am so excited. The 49ers Rush Road Trip is heading into year 6. We started back in 2019, and we're coming home to the Bay Area. For the draft, we're going to be live downtown in the North Beach area at the historic Broadway Studios for day 1 and day 2 of the NFL draft. So come join us. We're going to join the faithful live broadcast of draft picks as they are coming in live time with full TVs. We got big screens. We've got trivia. We've got giveaways and much, much more. Doors will open 1 hour before the draft starts on both days. And if you're coming from work, no worries. If you buy your ticket, automatic guaranteed entrance, show up whenever you can. Kids get in free. And if you are struggling trying to get your youngsters to be more on board with the 49ers or the draft or whatever, bring them out to an event. They get in free with the ticketed adult, and we make sure our entire team knows kids come first. Every single youngster leaves with something tangible that they can tie to this experience. Come give it a shot. Tickets are currently only $20 for each day. That's it. We're not trying to make a lot of money on this. We're just trying to build a wonderful experience. So go to 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Get your tickets today for day 1 and day 2 of the NFL draft. Prices will go up, but with where they are right now, just $20 a piece and kids getting free. Join us, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. All right, Wayne, here we go. The 49ers are on the clock at 11, and Ted McMillan is still there. I do think teams would be willing to trade up for him. Now, here's where it gets a little hairy. The Seattle Seahawks sit at 18. They do not have a true X wide receiver. I know they went out and got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but let's be real. They have to replace DK Metcalf. Probably the most DK replaceable wide receiver in this draft is Ted McMillan. Would you trade with the Seattle Seahawks and drop from 11 to 18? But here's the package. We're not renegotiating. This is what they're offering. They're giving you 18, their third rounder this year, and a third rounder next year. So you're not getting the Jimmy
it's
Johnson.
No-brainer.
You're not getting your adequate value points-wise on the trade chart, but you're still doing it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm with you, man.
You
get pick 82 and 18 and next year's third.
And then next year's third, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me because at 18, I could probably sneak a Derek Harmon or Walter Nolan or one of those guys, so I still get my defensive tackle first, and now I got an extra third, and I get an extra top 100 pick. Man, sign me up. Now I can get that linebacker a little bit later. Like, you know what I mean?
So you don't mind playing Ted McMillan and helping a division rival out? You don't care?
Man, bump Ted McMillan. Man, he got to deal with Diamador Lenore. You know what I'm going to say about Ted? If you come to the NFC West, trash. That's what I'm going to say. Straight up. You got, first of all, I can't wait to see Ronaldo Green like unlocked this year. I'm talking press man. I'm talking that press zone. We play a lot of press zone. And once he grasps the concept of the zone game, I'm talking about Green. Oh man, this defense gonna be crazy. I love it, man. I love our two outside corners. I am scratching my head for the nickel guy, but there's some guys in this draft. I wouldn't mind an Upton Stout. Western Kentucky. I wouldn't mind.
Dino's going to be the nickel guy, though, right? You mean like the number 3 outside?
Number 3 outside, yeah.
I'm with you there. But West Coast offense says, I'm not trading with Seattle if Tet's available. And so, like, this is the idea of getting into this chess checkers. Like, are you just trying to improve your team? Are you trying to hurt your division opponent? Do you not want to help your opponent? I'm not a big Bill Belichick's amazing, but I side with him here. Focus on your team.
Yeah, that's kind of like where I am, man. Like, look, teams don't give two flying cares about us when they building teams and stacking teams. I mean, you got Cooper Kupp now going to be in Seattle. Like at the end of the day, like we just need the best players and then go out there and execute. No, and I'm not saying Ted McMillan is trash for those that are a little like in their feelings. But if he plays the 49ers, you know what he's going to be to me? Trash.
There we go.
Anybody that plays the 49ers is going to be trash. And if the 49ers play like trash, they're going to be trash too. I'm sorry, this is just a trash episode. My bad.
I ain't mad about it. I like the spice. It's what Wayne, it's East Coast Wayne brings, baby. Don't hold back. Great one says, if Seattle wants that 11, they got to give up their second. I'm going to constantly hit on this one. No team
is going to
2000 has given up a first and a second in any trade involving 11. I just don't think it happens. Yeah, they have 2, but even if you included their worst number 2, which is 52, they would be overpaying to trade up in a year that I think cheaper deals are going to happen to trade up because so many teams want to trade back. So, yeah, I'm with you. And so you say that might be the bargain you say. It's like, look, Seattle, you give us our second or we say no. Seattle's going to say no 100%. We're not taking Ted McMillan. Then the Cowboys are on the clock at 12.
They drafted Ted McMillan.
And they draft Ted McMillan or trade that pick. So, I mean, I like driving a hard bargain. I'm taking the third. I want third rounders.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's going to be a lot. So here's the theory for third. There's going to be a lot of players that's going to fall.
Yeah, they have to.
A lot of top 50 players going to fall to that third round. Believe it or not. because of teams' needs and things like that. So you're still going to get a steal. Like, it's the key is top 100 guys. Like I can't help but to address. I've never promoted the top 100 picks, man. I got my own. I've been researching. Look, I've never promoted that in my life, but I'm starting to understand, especially now. And look at what happened. Look at what the Niners ended up doing in free agency. They decided to deplete their roster as far as those expensive contracts. They didn't bring back certain guys. They said, and they didn't even address those holes to fill. And now they're going to come to this draft super prepared to where they need to hit on these picks. And on top of that, I think they go back wave 2 of free agency after the draft, try to see if they could sign some of these older veteran players to these 1-year deal, vet minimum type of contracts. Because there's rules when you sign a player after a certain time, they get this money and stuff like that. So there's rules to the game.
I love that. Shout out to my man, Steven. He's one of the admins that we have in our chat. And I love how passionate everybody's getting. Just always remember, it's a family-friendly show. We might slide a couple cuss words in every now and then. But, disagreements are great. Let's the name calling and all that kind of stuff, let's stay away from that. But, yeah, have a good time. Otherwise, you kind of get put in timeout. That's not what we're looking for. But just remember, kiddos watch this show.
Don't be trash.
I love it, man. Okay, let's go through Benjamin Albright, who is turning into one of my favorite followers whenever, like, I think that he does just such a good job in the business side of what these things look like. Well, he put out a top 6, and here's how he had it going. He said Cam Ward's going first. He believes that whether it's the Giants or the Titans, Abdul Carter's going 2 to Cleveland. Agreed. And if the Giants don't trade up, they'll take Shadur Sanders. Okay. At 3, Mimbo to the Patriots at 4. Travis
I don't
Hunter.
like that.
You don't like that?
No.
Why not?
I feel like they're a Will Campbell guy. If they go offensive line, I feel like they go Will Campbell.
You think so?
I do.
Why? Help me understand why. Not that I disagree with you.
I mean, if you're going with the guy that you're looking, you're going with the taller guy, the guy with more experience. I don't think the measurables are going to matter. But if you're gonna, and I'm not saying Will Campbell's the best offensive tackle in this draft, but I understand why a lot of people feel like he is. I mean, just his experience alone playing at LSU, wearing that number 7 number, that's an honor to you have to be great to wear number 7, which is usually worn by receivers, DBs, like that. And we've seen those players come to the NFL and do they due diligence. I mean, like OBJ, the kid from Brian Thomas Jr., the kid from the Giants, like these guys, Derek Stingley, like all these LSU players are balling in the NFL. So I feel like that would be the guy that they go if they go that route. But why do I feel like they're going to go defense? I think they go Travis Hunter. That's just my opinion.
Whatever they do, I feel like it has to be Drake May. And so if you draft Travis Hunter, you're going to play that wide receiver, right?
Yeah,
so I get that. And I think my problem is whenever I look at, like, right now, the left tackle for the Patriots is Verdarian Lowe, and the left guard is Layden Robinson.
I mean, they need to address the offensive line.
And so if it's Will Campbell, I'm cool with that. If it's Mimba, I'm cool with that, whatever.
New England doesn't want that. I mean, those players, they want somebody. Like, the right thing to do would be to address the offensive line. So whether it's Mimbu or Campbell, that's the route they need to go. So Benjamin Albright is right.
But you just have them swapping it. You like Will Campbell, you have graded higher?
I have him graded a little bit higher, yeah.
And you would play him at tackle. You're cool with that?
I'm cool with playing him at tackle. He's played tackle all his life. I don't think he's going to struggle in the NFL.
Okay. All right. So,
I think he's the tactician, and he has the skill set to adjust to the speed.
I love Will Campbell. And I struggle, man. Like, because I do love his tape.
I'm probably biased, though, John, because I want my Membu to fall to 11. So let me be biased.
just let you. I've Will Campbell 13 on my big board. I have Armand Mimbu 5. I struggle with that. But anyway, now back to, then he has Travis Hunter going to the Jags at 5 and Ashton Genty going to the Raiders at 6.
Really? Okay. I see where you're going. I like this.
That means we're sitting there at 7 and Mason Graham is there. So we talked a little bit about trading up earlier with Mason Graham. We went through a couple of scenarios.
Do we have to, though?
I don't think you have to. My question for you is, are there players besides Mason Graham or anybody else that you would be willing to trade up for if you're the Niners?
No.
Nobody.
No, they're all gone. And the only players did you say Membu was gone yet?
He had Membu going forward to the Patriots.
To the Patriots. And Will Campbell is still available?
So let's flip it. Let's say Will Campbell's goes 4. If Membu's there at 7, would you trade up for him?
I think I may trade up for Membu.
Membu? Would you trade up for Will Campbell?
Yes.
Wow. But not Mason Graham.
Yes. I would trade it for Mason Graham. I just think he'll fall because I'm thinking of the teams before us.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to draft the defensive tackle. If Jacksonville didn't take the defensive tackle, I think he could fall to 11. Call me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
So you got Carolina 8,
Nope.
Saints 9.
Nope.
10 Bears.
Nope.
Man, there's no way he's falling to 11.
I feel like he can fall to 11. He shouldn't, but I think the Bears go edge. If they go defense, they're going edge. They got the Minnesota. If they go, who was before the Bears? The Saints. I feel like the Saints gonna go. They need to go offensive line, but they'll probably go.
Oh, I love this time of the year, man.
Yeah, man. Like the
this.
Saints. The Saints need to protect whoever their quarterback is going to be. And maybe the Saints throw us a curveball and draft the quarterback like Jackson Dart, like Mel Kiper said. Like,
they need that team. I have no idea where they're going.
That's that's the team of illusion, right? You don't know what they're gonna go. Like I've been mock drafting them the best tight end. So I've been giving them Warren. Like, right? Because that would help solidify. I mean, they got Olave out there. They can get a wide receiver later, but if you get a guy like Warren, that's a quarterback's best friend. So like the tight end, short passing game, H-back, like he just seems like a perfect fit there. Check out my 32 team mock draft this Thursday, man. Or check out some of the old ones. You'll see kind of like.
Dude, I spent a lot of time looking at your last one you did where you traded twice back.
Yeah, I know people were pissed, but hey, it was fun.
Nah, and that's why we do these. Like the whole idea of a mock draft, people don't understand this, isn't necessarily what will the 49ers do. It's what happens if. And so like you go through these scenarios, and NFL teams do mock drafts, and they say, what if so-and-so's there? Let's play through that scenario. What if we do trade back twice? What if we do trade up? What if we teams do that and they practice that? And that's why we do that. So just trying to present as many different, hey, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, so that you're aware of those situations. So now let's go to Daniel Jeremiah. He had the 49ers taking Jahdae Barron, cornerback, Texas, number 7 player on my board. I really like Jahdae. I don't think it's definitely not the biggest need. Like I want offense, defensive line only.
Mm-hmm.
But what were your thoughts if the Niners took Jahdae Barron, number 7 overall?
Can I just be clear that I wouldn't be surprised, and I damn sure wouldn't be mad. Like you're getting a top 10 player, impact. My key to round 1 is impact, right?
He fits that.
And so, like, he can play all over the secondary, literally. Nickel, outside, need him in the safety. He can play there, right? I like both of those.
It's
Texas.
A full year experience at safety, a full year at nickel, a full year at outside. Yeah. And when he was outside, he won the Jim Thorpe Award and shut down Jeremiah Smith in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I personally feel like I wouldn't be mad if we went that route. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't scratch my head. I would be like, okay, let's start breaking down how are we going to probably use this kid.
And what did Robert Saleh do whenever he first went to the Jets?
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner.
Sauce. I prefer Will Johnson, but I understand he's not testing, and I get it.
He's still not testing.
He's got the hip. So I get it, but that's who I would prefer because he has the size, he has the build. We don't necessarily know his 40 speed, but I've watched him play, and he knows how to play football. So at the end of the day, like I would prefer that mold. But listen, you get a Jahdae Barron, man, he could play all over, man. He'll be like the next coming of Jimmy Ward, like but a better, 10 times better.
I feel like the Will Campbell and Jahdae Barron is just like the offensive tackle discussion. Like Jahdae Barron is Armand Membu. He passed every single test. He's got no red flags, very clean evaluation, no injury history, can play everything, athleticism, everything, check. But then you've got somebody like a Will Johnson who has a way higher ceiling. But this dude's dealt with a lot of injuries, toe, ankle, shoulder, business decisions. Does he fit the 49ers mold? Yeah, if he hits his ceiling, Will Campbell's going to be better. If both players hit their ceiling, Will Campbell's better than Jahdae Barron. The thing is, with Jahdae Barron, at worst, you're getting a double. Like, at worst, you're getting a nickel guy. At worst, you're getting a free safety.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, at worst, with Will Campbell, I mean, here we are. He still can't test. And so, what
you
are
mean
the
Will Johnson?
Will Johnson, sorry, not Will Campbell. I'm messing up my
It's all good.
analogy. So right here, Invader says, Daniel Jeremiah doesn't realize this regime doesn't put a premium on defensive backs.
They haven't. But that doesn't.
They
drafted Rash. They got Renardo Green last year, and that's another player that we're not even talking about, man. Like, I have Isaiah Thomas. I still have him high on my draft board, and that's a Florida State kid, and that's a kid that they may have looked at last year, looked at this year. So don't be surprised.
I wish he would have ran at the combine.
It's the little things that they be setting us, But pro day.
And it's pro day season, and they're happening, and man, even some guys are like, oh, I'm not doing the pro day, I'm doing my own minor day. And then I'm like, okay, if that's the case, have you had a lot of injuries before? Because if you can't compete at the combine after months from the regular season, if you can't compete after the pro day after another month after the combine, now you have to do a private workout. I'm just like, for me, that it doesn't remove you from the first and second round, but I'm docking you. I'm not giving you any benefit of the doubt.
Personally. I get what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, especially certain positions, right? Like, you need that. Like, you need those. I know people call it the underwear Olympics, but, on the biggest stage. I mean, look, the way I look at the NFL Combine is you got players, the kids, they're coming out on the biggest stage. That right there is a test. Coming out with the lights are bright, everybody's watching. How well do you perform under pressure? That's a test. And for those that I understand, is guys and kids, agents come tell them not to do this, not do that. I get it. But man, like that right there is the first initial test. If you do well, it helps you. If you don't do well, it doesn't hurt you. Not that much.
Right. I like that. Oscar, I want a starter at 11th. Need a linebacker, DT, DN, cornerback, safety, wide receiver, tackle, and left guard.
Jahdae Barron can start week 1.
You can start 2 of those. So you put him wherever you need playing time, and that's where it is. And so, again, like every single time, and you get this too, whenever you're like, oh, what would you do if this? And the first comment's always BPA, best player available. And so, hey, man, there's a lot of needs. This 49ers team is not like the 2023 49ers. You got a lot of needs.
It's different, right? And that's why I said, like, last year they went to this draft with, hopes of obviously winning the championship, competing for a championship, but they really went in there for the future. Like, they drafted players not to play right then. They were for the future. Now those players are going to have to step up and play. And the cool thing that I like about college football compared to college football from like 5-6 years ago when you drafted players, these players are ready to come in and play. Like they're ready to make that transition. You got older players coming in, they're mature. Like, it's just different. It's a different transition right now, like, in my opinion. So I think whoever we draft should be ready to go. And this forces Kyle Shanahan to say, "What? I ain't got this old guy to depend on. Get your ass, get out there. Like, let's see what you could do." So we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be a good draft.
I like it. Now, after this next break, we're going to be talking running backs with Wayne, which he loves running backs, and we're going to take a deep dive on some sleepers. But March Madness, it's here, baby. If you're serious about sports betting, you need a sports book that actually works for you. And that's why I use MyBookie. I've been working with them for over 5 years now. And MyBookie, you're in control. Better odds, better wins, less hassle than other guys, with the biggest selection of player bets and prop bets. Early cash out options, live betting lets you jump in at any time. So if you miss it before tip-off or game time starts, guess what? You get to play your way. Whether you're locking in picks pregame, riding the action live, MyBookie makes sure you always have access to the action. It's not just sports. MyBookie hosts the party that never ends with full-fledged casino. They've got everything from blackjack, roulette, video poker, slots, you name it. So if you're new to MyBookie, sign up now with promo code 49ERS or use this QR code next to me. Get a deposit bonus up to $2,000. Remember, gambling's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's all about building up your funds over time. Don't settle for second-rate book. Bet smarter, win bigger, only at MyBookie. All right, Wayne, you love running backs. Every single freaking year, you played running back. That's your spot. Will you talk to me about how early you think Kyle Shanahan goes in this draft at the running back position?
We got 2 third-round picks and 4. I mean, 2, 3. How many fourth-round picks we got?
We've got 2. We've got 2 and 2. 2 thirds,
so 2 and
fourths.
2. So it all depends on kind of like who falls. But earliest third, and then latest probably fourth, because we got 2 picks in the fourth. I think we get another one in the fourth.
Yeah. So yeah, 75, 100, 113, 138, and then 147.
Yeah.
So you're saying in that area.
That area, yeah.
Do you have a favorite that you're like, man, I really, really want this guy in the third or this guy in the fourth?
I really like Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, but I know people don't like his 40 speed, and I don't give 2 flying cares about 40 speed when it comes to running backs that can break tackles, running backs that have elusiveness, running backs that don't fumble. I like, to me, like that 40. I mean, how many explosive touchdown runs you gonna get from running backs in the NFL? Like literally, like that's what you got to ask yourself. And we do like the explosive 10, 15 plus yard runs. That burst, that's cool. The running backs coming out of this draft that I like can give you that. Can they take it and get you a home run? Then probably not. But Caleb Johnson to me is like my number 1 running back. But
He's
I like
one
for me. But I like
you have him over Genty, or you're just
oh
saying
no for the Niners. I'm sorry, like those them guys are gonna be gone. Like Genty and Omarion Hampton, and those guys are gonna be gone. Like But for me, like I like Caleb Johnson for the Niners. But Devin Neal, nobody's talking about this kid out of Kansas.
This is why our show was late, guys. We were
and I'm trying to comprehend why we're not speaking high on Devin Neal. Is it because of his run time? Like, what is it? Because his tape time is fast. Like, he makes everybody miss every single time. The production is there, pass catching is there, the running is there, his vision is there. I'm trying to understand why we're not talking more about Devin Neal out of Kansas.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, and again, all of the 49ers offensive line coaches have watched Devin Neal on repeat because they did Dominic Pooney, he's been the number 1 guy. Devin Neal has
4.58
experience in this draft at the running back position. Now, is that a good or a bad thing? They love guys with experience. He's a 10 out of 10 on experience. He's got over 2,000 snaps. He's played a lot. Now, the acceleration and speed, you're talking 2 guys. If you're trying to replace Jordan Mason, these are Jordan Mason type runners. I didn't use Mason as a comp for either one. Like, I see Ramondre Stevenson and Caleb Johnson, and I see for Devin Neal, I see more of a
minus
David
the fumbles, though.
Correct.
Yeah. I want to put that out there. Yeah. No, I just wanted to make that clear.
Caleb Johnson, 0 fumbles, 240 carries last year.
For John to know that junk by heart, that's how great that is, right? Like,
it's impressive. Zero. But I like Devin Neal, but you're talking about 2 guys, again, on the slower side. So you're somebody that values contact balance.
Contact balance. Being able to break tackles, to me, because think about it. There's going to be times when the Niners offensive line is just, they shit the bed. And you're talking about a guy like that can go from a loss of 3 yards to where he can still get back to the line of scrimmage because he can break that first initial tackle. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, to me, like, you need these types of players. We love Jordan Mason, right? What was Jordan Mason known for? He wasn't known for speed. He was known for breaking tackles. And once he started to understand the outside zone concept and understand how to run in that concept, he got better at it. but he was a downhill runner. That was where he was the most threat. And teams feared it because he ran hard. So whether it was fast, it didn't matter because the impact that he was hitting you with, the force that he was hitting you with, felt like he was running a 4.2, 4.3 when it might have really been a 4.4, 4.5. So those are the running backs that I feel like we need. The durable guys, the guys that can stay healthy as well. Like that's a key too. I forgot about that part.
I like that. Invader says, vision is my number one trait for this team. The number one player I've ever graded all time with best vision from the running back position is Christian McCaffrey.
Hands down.
I've always felt that is his best trait. The best vision in this draft is Caleb Johnson. He has the best eyes. He sees it better. He does not make bad reads. He is always going forward. Now, he's bigger body and built tough. Right. He don't run tough.
He doesn't run. Right. There you go.
He's not imposing like Jordan Mason. He people just fall off his waist because he's so stout and strong. But yeah, if
it's all
you like
in the legs,
vision,
baby.
Caleb Johnson.
It's all in the legs. So like these are guys, man, that I feel like are Bobby Turner guys. Last year we went speed. Last year we got faster. But even in that, we drafted a kid like Isaac Garendo who struggled in outside zone because that's not what they ran in Louisville, right? Like he was a one breakaway guy. Tackle breaking is there, speed is there, and he's explosive. He was an explosive runner, and we've seen it. We saw with our own eyes. If we can get the right blocks and he make the right cut with the right vision cut, boom, he's explosive. How many times did he have to down himself last year? Twice?
But again, if we're talking vision, maybe the worst I've ever seen.
Worst vision ever. Like Cat doesn't understand when my blocker is here. I need it's not just vision. Vision, patience, same thing. Because to me, the best vision, patience running back I've seen ever over Christian McCaffrey was Le'Veon Bell.
Yes, that's where I was at. Man.
I don't think anybody had that vision. I don't even know where that came from. Like he just was like, I'm just gonna wait, and then Piron, like bam, that start acceleration was amazing. Christian McCaffrey kind of resembles some of that. I think that's where Ashton Genty is going to be key in this draft. That's why he's probably number one. He probably has the best vision in the draft.
He's pretty damn.
He can't catch. I'm not gonna say he can't catch. But that's where he's going to struggle, though, in the past.
It was funny whenever he played Penn State, and everybody's like, see, he's not that good. Yeah. I was like, dude, are you watching this?
Yeah.
This dude is breaking 3 tackles to get 3 yards. Like, it was totally just like, you got a Madden created character on freaking, I don't know, like filling like Northwest Idaho Valley A&M, and like, you finally make it to the playoffs. Like, I thought I bumped his value up after that Penn State game. I didn't dock him for that because that dude was just...
Yeah, they have flyers all over the board. Like all their guys were healthy. We're talking about Penn State defense that game.
Yeah,
those guys were finally healthy. You got them guys flying around.
And he was still making a miss, but you're making a miss for 3 and
4
yards. 3
or 4 yards opposed to the 30, 40. Yeah, I got you.
All right, last topic. Let's stick with Kansas. My man Matthew W. emailed me, and he says, just wanted to know if you could discuss some lesser-known late-round options. That's why you're here. You guys are the creme de la creme. Let's talk day 3, guys. And why not stick with Kansas? We just talked Devin Neal. The 49ers just drafted Dominique Pooney, so you know they've watched a lot of tape on this guy. Offensive tackle, Logan Brown. And it was funny. Wade and I were talking. I was like, who's Logan Brown? And he's like, oh, he's the tackle from Kansas. I was like, oh, number 77. Like, I don't know the name, but I see I've watched so much tape on him. I know who he is. But anyway, tell me about Logan Brown.
When you put on the film, you'll understand why Logan Brown is the guy. Like, is a guy. Like, and this is players like Logan Brown that makes it hard for us mock drafters. And the reason why I'm saying it is because this is why the Niners don't have to go offensive tackle with the first pick in the draft, with the 11th pick in the draft, right? They don't, because there are players in this draft that I feel like the 49ers can find. Now, if I had to pick between Logan Brown or Holland Pierce from Rutgers, even though Pierce is the mountain, Logan Brown to me is the hound. Like, right? So, like,
I love
Game of Thrones reference.
So
Game of Thrones reference. My bad. But my point is, he has the agility, and with a high 20-yard shuttle time, like, you could give it to me, baby. 4.51, second best shuttle time for offensive linemen at the NFL Combine. 4.51 at 311 pounds. This kid got a 4.51 shuttle. And for those that don't understand what the 20-yard shuttle or the short run is, it's the 5-10-5 where they run down 5 yards, they go back 10 yards, come back to 5 yards, they finish it. Listen, he did that in 4.51 seconds. We're talking 300 pounds, 6'6", 300 pounds, had to bend his ass down, touch the ground, get up, touch the ground again, and touch the ground again. Like, that's tough. Kyle and Chris Forster, these are the numbers that they value in their offensive linemen. Shuttle, 3-cone, 10-yard split. Shuttle, 3-cone, 10-yard split. So he's athletic as hell. This is why I'm high on Marcus Bowe. Like, people don't like Marcus Bowe. He's not a sleeper anymore. But Logan Brown, to me, is my sleeper offensive tackle in this draft, and I'll be breaking him down on my channel for sure.
You know what? I just looked him up. Not only did he play with Kansas, so the Niners have seen the Dominic Puni tape.
Wisconsin too, right?
Wisconsin, all the Isaac Guerendo tape. He was blocking for Guerendo. So
just make the connections yourself.
It's there. And you look at Jared Kingston last year, Dominic Puni, both top 5 on short shuttle times for all offensive linemen last year. Like, he fits the mold. They've been exposed to him not once but twice. He's huge, 6'6", 311. He's a big dude, man.
Just like in the comments, I could touch the ground, but that's about it. Now he can touch the ground and get back up. Like, that's my point. And so, like, but he ran it fast. So, like, 40 time, decent. Don't really care. But the shuttle time, his 3-cone wasn't bad either, man. I don't know how you would rate this 3-cone, John, because he finished his 3-cone. Do
you have the time?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to give it to you in a second. I believe his 3-cone was a 7.75.
A little slow there.
A little slow on the 3-cone. That
tells me if you can do short shuttle but not 3-cone, you can't flip your hips.
Okay.
So 3-cone, so you can still shuffle and move. So the outside zone is more of a short shuttle. Getting to the second level is more of a short shuttle.
So like guard pulling of the guys, right? Running down the field. That's what he can do. Like, and that's what we like. Like, that's what we need.
I like that. Breaking 80, thanks for the super chat. And this is right in line. Fortifying the offensive line and run game equates to helping the defense sustain drives, rest. That's called complementary football. Breaking 80. My man, Jerry Rice. That's Jerry Rice, just so you know.
Oh, yeah, I know. I knew that.
That's who he is. But
and so this is why, like, this is what we do, man. Like, we dive into the hidden gems that clearly no one's really hyping about. You know what I'm saying? Because we watch the tape and we be like, well, who's that guy? Like, I wasn't watching the tape for this guy. Who's this guy? Like, I was watching the tape for Devin Neal, and I'm like, who the hell is Block? Who was this guy Block? That's Logan Brown. Logan Brown. And then he tested at the combine. I'm like, oh, shoot, he gonna move up. So there's just some guys, man, out there. Like, don't listen. All I'm saying to the faithful is, if we don't go Mimbu, or we don't go Campbell, we don't go Josh Connerly, we don't go, Ariante Ursary, these guys early, it's okay. It's okay.
What the 49ers do every single draft.
They
never
find
go
those guys.
Early.
They find the guys that fit them.
And this draft has those. Leon Sandcastle, thanks for the super chat. You see fullback tight end Robbie Outs from Bama.
From Bama, yeah.
I haven't done his tape yet or his write-up yet. I don't think we're going to go with a lot of fullback, but I do think the 49ers still are going to draft a move tight end, somebody that is a space tight end. I think Robbie fits that, but I added him to my notes, so I'll add it to the next show. I'll do a little bit more research.
I like the other tight end, though, from Alabama, C.J. Dupree.
Hey, man, I like Dupree. It's Jermaine Dupree right there, baby. That's it. Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing. Man, this has been a blast. I love these shows, man. Wayne, this is awesome. When's your next show that we can catch? If you haven't gone and subscribed to the Wayne Breezy Network, the show wherever is on social media, the Wayne Breezy, what's the show you got coming up, my friend?
Ah, man, let's see. So tomorrow I'll do the BAM show. That's with Mike from Nothing But Niners. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern time. There'll probably be a Wayne Breezy show tomorrow. Now we got a lot of stuff to talk about with the draft coming up. So yeah, just subscribe to the channel, put your alert set to all, and there's going to be uploaded shows and live shows just about damn near every single day. Sometimes 2 or 3 a day, so you don't want to miss out.
My notifications go off, and I'm just like, Wayne live again? Wayne's live again? Like, I love it, though. Every time I see it, I'm just like, hell yeah, man. I appreciate the work you do. And, man, I got to say, like, I said this last show. I have to step up my game every time I record with you because you know more than I do. You know more players than I do. You went to the Senior Bowl, and I freaking love it. It's not competition. It's brothers pushing each other, and we make each other better, and you make my fandom better as a 49er. So I just want to say thank you, Wayne. Take us out of the show, my friend.
Man, faithful, I know you guys are scratching your heads because free agency didn't do us or treat us the way we felt like it should, but the draft is underway. Let's get ready for the draft. Stay locked in right here on 49ers Rush with your guy, John Chapman, Lamar, and your boy, Wayne Brown Patrick. We'll be back, baby. Till next week, keep it faithful.